Hiya, welcome to our new channel. My name is Jamal Jamil. I'm a gas engineer, been a gas engineer for the last 18 years. I would like to talk to you about gas boilers in the UK, shed some light on how they work, their installation, their basic operations, and other related subjects. We will be talking about other topics, the boiler types, filling loops, external controls, power flushing, cleaning system, and basic other faults. There are roughly three types of domestic gas boilers in the UK: heat-only, system boilers, combi boilers, and we will do a whole episode about them and what's the difference between them and what is the pros on and the cons about these things. All domestic gas boilers in the UK will have a badge in the boiler, usually stuck underneath the boiler or on the casing. It's very, very important for the client or the customer to see that badge, locate it, and get the information out of it. The information on the badge will be the make, model, serial number, and GC number. The serial numbers on domestic gas appliances in the UK will give you an indication of when the boiler was made. I would say most of the gas boilers in the UK domestic will have a very long serial number. If you start from the left, the third and the fourth number are the year of make of that boiler. That badge will also include a GC number. GC number stands for Gas Council number. Every gas appliance in the UK is registered as, and it will have a unique Gas Council number, which will be 2 digits, 3 digits, and 2 digits. If you look at the Valiant badge, you will see a Gas Council number here, printed in small, which is 4704454. That will give you the unique number for a Valiant Ecotech combi boiler. So when you want to buy spare parts or identify that specific make and model of a boiler, you definitely need the Gas Council number. If you look on the internet, an indication of what that boiler is. In this slide, we're going to see a sticker on a Valiant boiler, and that sticker on every gas appliance, you'll find that sticker on the boiler. It gives you some sort of a checklist to go through and see as an installer and even as a homeowner what to expect from the installation. I'll explain all these points in different slides, and they will be individually, and we'll talk about them. As you can see, it's very, very important. There is an installer checklist on that sticker, and it will tell you that the technical terms and conditions of the boiler guarantee has to be complied with, and the new boiler will also come with the guarantee that the homeowner needs to fill and send to activate the guarantee. There are few things that the manufacturer's instructions will mention, and as a rule of thumb, the manufacturer's instructions of any appliance in the UK will supersede all the regulations and the gas regulations, all the British standards. The manufacturer's instructions will supersede them. That is why the manufacturer's instructions are very, very, very important to adhere to, because if you will have an issue with your boiler and you will phone the manufacturers to come and check and repair that appliance, if the installer has not adhered to the manufacturer's instructions, we will not be able to work on that appliance. One of the most or the biggest issues that I find is the clearances around the boiler, underneath it, over it, and front of it, because it is very important that I will have that space around the boiler, which I will show you in the manufacturer's instructions. Every boiler has got its own clearances that will ensure that the engineer that is going to come on the work on the boiler will have enough space to do his work. The other point that you can see here, the installer should inform the homeowner that the guarantee card should be filled within 30 days of installation and sent back to the manufacturer to activate that warranty. Also, to me, as a gas repair engineer, it is very important to have an annual service carried out on that boiler and recorded in the service page provided in the installation manual with the appliance. The reason for that annual service is when a proper engineer or an engineer that carries out that service might highlight an issue with the boiler and then repair that issue, or phone the manufacturers to be repaired under warranty, and that will save you later on of the boiler breaking down, while you can spot that and do some preventative work on the boiler before the problem becomes too serious and it breaks down. One of the other aspects that is very important for a new installation is the benchmark. The benchmark is at the back of the installation manual, which should be kept with the homeowner. The benchmark has a lot of details, and these details must be filled by the installer, preferably with a serial number of the boiler. It records who installed it, what's his gas registration number, and it must be signed. There is quite a lot of other information that should be also filled by the installer on the benchmark. Once we complete any gas appliance in the UK, complete the installation, that installation has to be notified to GasSafe, which used to be called Corgi, not anymore. It's GasSafe that controls all gas engineers in the UK, and that installation should be registered with GasSafe saying Jamal Jamil is an installer, that's the name of the company, that's his installation, he's done a gas boiler installation of that address to Mr. T. Brown, it's been completed by that date, and a certificate of installation will be sent to the address of the installation by GasSafe. This is what the gas regulations say, and it must be done. Do not confuse the installation certificate with a landlord gas safety certificate. A landlord gas safety certificate is a must if you're renting your property. All the landlord gas safety certificate proves is that there is no gas leak and that the safety devices in the boiler are working, while an installation certificate is your proof that the gas engineer, who is registered with GasSafe and he is a competent person, does the installation. If something goes wrong with that installation, then the homeowner can report that to GasSafe for them to come and inspect the installation and see if something dramatic has happened or it hasn't been installed properly as per gas safety regulations. One of the biggest aspects of installing a new boiler is the cleaning of the system. Although there is a British standard for cleaning systems, central heating systems, it is down to the installer. And because in the UK we self-certify our work as gas installers, so they depend on us to carry out all the gas regulations about the installation. So as you can see here, it's on the sticker, says, have you thoroughly flushed the system, added a suitable inhibitor, and confirmed the system water quality? This is for the installer. So the installer will come to your property prior to the installation and to check what is the condition of the water quality in your system and what are the appropriate steps to be taken so to ensure that the system water is clean. I will do a separate video on power flushing. What do you expect from power flushing or chemical flushing? What is cleaning of the system? How do I carry it out? Because consequently, if the system is not cleaned as per manufacturer's instruction, it will create component failure in the boiler. It will shorten the life of the boiler and make your system not efficient. So you're spending gas heating all the gunk and the rubbish in the system. The other aspect you'll see required from the manufacturers is the gas. Have you tested the gas installation for tightness? Purge the gas supply in accordance with the relevant standards. So if I'm connecting the new gas appliance to the gas meter as an installer, I need to make sure that the gas supply pipe from the gas meter to the appliance is tight. There is no leaks in there, and if it's a new installation, there is no permissible drop on that. After doing that, and it's a must for every installation. I also need to purge the air inside the new installation, get the boiler started, test the inlet working pressure at the boiler as per manufacturer's instructions. As a rule of thumb, the inlet working pressure at the boiler should be a minimum of 17 millibar. That should be tested as the worst case scenario. So if I have a gas cooker, a gas fire, I should light the gas fire, light up the gas cooker, at least 3 eyes in there should be lit, and then test the inlet working pressure while putting the boiler at test mode at maximum. All we are trying to achieve here is put the worst case scenario. All the gas appliances are on, the boiler is working at maximum. If that fails, then the installer should go back, redo the gas supply from the gas meter. A lot of gas boilers would work for less than 17 millibar, but that means they're not working efficiently and they would not deliver their maximum rating if it's starved of gas. I can't tell you some sort of an example that if you will buy a new car and that car engine rev will be restricted to 3,000 RPM. So you would not be able to drive the car at the speed you like because that rev will stop at a certain limit. So you would not get the full performance of the car. I hope this example will make it easier to imagine if the boiler is starved of gas as inlet working pressure, that what will happen with the boiler. You would not get the full potential, especially on combi boilers when they should work on maximum to deliver the hot water performance they are rated at. Flues. Flues are quite important in boilers, and as you can see, it says here, is the flue adequately supported and correctly sited? Did they do a flue gas analysis and the sampling point has been put back? Flues are concentric flues in all room sealed appliances, which means they'll take the air from the outside, carry out the combustion, and then carry out the products of combustion to outside. Hence, they are very important. Flues between manufacturers are not interchangeable. The manufacturers like you to install the specific flue for that specific boiler. Sometimes they look the same, but you can't interchange them. And although sometimes you'll get a new boiler and then the old boiler is the same make, but the flue has to be changed to the new flue. You can't use the old flue because it's the same make. The other big issue I find throughout all the years that I've worked as a gas engineer is the flue has to be inclined towards the boiler because all the condensate water has to come back to the boiler and get disposed from the condensate pipe terminal at the boiler. The flue must be supported throughout its length. It must be visible throughout its length, especially when it changes direction. As a gas engineer, it's one of these checks that I do when I go and service a boiler or repair it, because if the flue is not installed properly, most of the times the boiler would not work. And if there are issues that contravene with the gas safe regulations, then that installation will be deemed either at risk or immediately dangerous and it will be shut down. So flues are very, very important. Flue terminal citation is very important. Where is that flue terminal outside is being cited, and all of this information, as usual, you will find it in the manufacturer's instructions. The installer should know all of that, but I just pointed out a few important points for you as a homeowner to keep an eye on. I can't go to a boiler and work on it or service it if I can't see the whole length of the flue, and sometimes inspection hatches are required for me to see the whole length of the flue to make sure that it is supported properly, it's inclined towards the boiler, especially if it changes direction and there are flue elbows, to make sure all the joints are tight and it is not leaking. As you can see, the completion of any installation, very important. Have you explained to the customer how to operate the boiler and use the controls, and handed over the documentation. This is an example from a certain manufacturer. This is how a warranty card looked like, and it needs to be filled. with the serial number and then sent to the manufacturer. They will send you a warranty card or it's registered. And on the other hand, this is an example of an installation and service manual of a certain boiler. When you look at it and you look at the back of it, you will find the benchmark page. That should be filled by the installer, and this is the service schedule every time a service is being carried out on the boiler by a competent person. That should be signed and kept in a safe place. This is a very, very important document for the homeowner, and that always should be kept on site, because from it I can tell if it's been installed properly, has it been serviced properly, has it been recorded when it's serviced. Also, the installer should show the customer what external controls do they have on that boiler, how do they work, how are they programmed, and how to use the boiler generally speaking. If it's a heat-only boiler, if it's a system boiler or a combi boiler, because most of the times I'll go to the customer to fix his boiler and they have not got a clue what the external controls do, how do they do them, why are they installed, and how do they function. Especially nowadays when we have a lot of wireless controls, and these wireless controls sometimes run out of batteries and the customer doesn't know what to do. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that I've shared some information about boilers, and if you are watching this and you want specific videos for us to make, do leave us comments and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.